On a stormy night, Sarah was alone in a deaf, creaky house. The rain drummed relentlessly on the windows and the old house groaned like a living, tortured soul. Sarah sat at home with a friend who had gone away for the weekend. As the hours passed, the storm intensified. The house seemed to come alive, whispering some secrets Sarah couldn't understand. Left alone in the dimly lit living room, she couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't alone. Sarah tried to distract herself with the television, but there was only static and distorted faces on the screen. With a sinking heart, she turned it off. In the semi-darkness, Sarah heard the faint sound of children's laughter, an eerie sound, for there were no children around. It led her to an old room, hidden and forgotten. The door was ajar, and the room smelled rotten. Inside, she found a dusty nursery with a tattered teddy bear and broken dolls. The room was filled with ghostly laughter and whispers of lost innocence. Cold breath touched her neck, but no one was there. In the candlelight, the shadows distorted grotesquely, and the whispers turned into ominous chants. Sarah rushed to the front door, but it was locked. She was trapped. Ominous whispers and laughter closed in around her as the fury of the storm reached its peak. Sarah went from room to room, in each of which a new horror awaited her. In the gallery of photographs, distorted faces stared back at her as if in perpetual misery. In a desperate attempt to escape, Sarah searched for the hidden key, but found an old diary instead. It told her that the house was haunted by an evil that fed on the trapped souls. As she continued her search, the house itself seemed to pulse with evil energy. Whispers turned to screams and laughter turned to manic giggling. Sarah found the hidden key and rushed to unlock the front door. It creaked open, and an icy wind rushed in, extinguishing the candle. Gasping, she stepped outside. As she left, the house howled in frustration. She had escaped the clutches of the darkness that thrived in loneliness and despair. The old house was left waiting for its next victim, standing alone in the storm. The storm outside the window gradually subsided, and the old house stood in eerie silence, as if disappointed by the escape of its victim. The whispering voices that had tormented Sarah fell silent in the looming silence. A sinister presence lurked in the house, waiting for another opportunity to trap an unsuspecting soul. Outside, Sarah breathed with difficulty, her heart still pounding from her ordeal. She stood in the rain-soaked darkness and stared at the ominous house that had become her prison. It seemed as if the very walls of the house were watching her, as if eager for her return. Sarah hesitantly walked away from the house. With each passing moment, the oppressive feeling lessened. The air became less malignant. The farther she got away from this cursed place, the easier it became to breathe. She reached the road where her friend's car was parked. With trembling hands, she unlocked it and got in. The engine roared, and she sped away from the cursed house, its silhouette growing smaller in the rearview mirror. The rain continued to pour, but it felt like a cleansing force. The farther Sarah drove, the more the horror and despair of that night receded. She had almost convinced herself that it had all been a terrible dream. But the memories of the intrusive whispers, the chilling laughter, and the house's relentless attempts to keep her imprisoned never left her. It would forever be a dark chapter in her life, a reminder that some places hold secrets and malice beyond human comprehension. Reaching the safety and warmth of home, Sarah couldn't help herself and cast one last glance at the dark outline of the house in the distance. It stood like a sinister sentry, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to fall into its trap. Sarah knew that the house's dark secrets would remain untold, its terrors lurking in the shadows, ready to torment anyone who dared to be alone in it on a stormy night.